I told him he was just my backup plan. I laughed as I said it, thinking it was one of those light-hearted, throwaway comments couples toss around for fun. I didn't mean anything serious by it. Just a joke. But the moment the words left my mouth, the atmosphere between us shifted. Not gradually. Instantly. It felt like someone had flung open a window in the middle of winter, and all the warmth rushed out, replaced by something cold and biting. He didn't react right away. His face didn't twist or flinch. But something behind his eyes changed, something so quiet and subtle, I might have missed it if he hadn't stood up, walked out of the room, and stayed gone for a long time. We had been together for 4 years. Not perfect ones, but solid. Safe. Comforting. He was the kind of man who didn't just hear you, he truly listened. Who didn't just say he loved you, he proved it, constantly, in small and steady ways. He made ordinary days feel like they mattered. I never had to doubt his love. He showed up for me, again and again, gently, silently, without asking for praise. He wasn't the grand romantic gesture type. But he'd show up with my favorite tea when I worked late. He'd massage my shoulders if I fell asleep on the couch. He'd leave little sticky notes on the bathroom mirror telling me I was beautiful, especially on the days I didn't believe it. That night, we were sitting on the floor of our tiny apartment, eating cold pizza and half watching some mindless dating show on Netflix. The kind where people rate their dates and talk about their top picks without shame. And I said it. You know, if things hadn't fallen apart with Alex, I probably wouldn't have ended up with you. You were kind of my backup plan. He looked at me. He didn't smile. I scrambled, trying to backpedal, said it was a joke, that I didn't mean it. But even I knew I had crossed a line. I had said it like it meant nothing, like it wasn't a quiet demolition of everything we'd built together. He stood without a word and walked into the bedroom. I sat there, still holding a half-eaten slice of pizza, waiting for him to return so I could explain, fix it, beg. But the door stayed shut. Until hours later, I heard the wheels of his suitcase rolling across the hardwood floor. My chest tightened. I stood quickly, heart thudding. "What are you doing?" I asked, my voice shaking halfway through the question. He didn't yell. Didn't accuse. He just said, "I never wanted to be someone's second choice. And if you meant it, even just a little, it changes everything." I stepped closer, tried to reach him with my words. I told him it wasn't like that. That I had been stupid. That I was only trying to be funny. But he wasn't listening anymore. Not really. He gave a small nod, turned around, and walked out the door. I stayed there in the silence, pizza cold, untouched, the air thick with something I couldn't unsay. I waited for a call, a text, anything. But nothing came. I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours, replaying conversations, revisiting moments where maybe I hadn't shown up for him the way he always had for me. Times where I might have made him feel less than. And the hardest part, the one that tore at me, was realizing how rarely I'd actually told him what he meant to me. I had assumed he just knew. That my love showed through the way I leaned on him, the way I stayed. That my actions were enough. But in the end, a single sentence, one careless joke, was enough to unravel everything. The next morning, I called. Straight to voicemail. I texted. I poured my heart out in those messages, begging him to come back, to let me explain. I told him he was never second. That Alex had been a mistake, a shallow chapter one was grateful to have closed. That meeting him, being with him, had changed everything. That he wasn't a backup. He was the start of my first real life. He didn't respond. Days passed. I reached out to mutual friends. No one had seen him. Someone thought he might be staying with family upstate, but no one was sure. He was gone, in that quiet, deliberate way he did everything. No chaos. No drama. Just a decision made, and followed through. The first few weeks broke me. I cried more than I ever thought possible, the kind of sobbing that empties you until you're just an echo of yourself. I stopped going out. Stopped checking my phone. Everything in that apartment was a memory. His coat still hung by the door. His mug sat near the sink. His scent lingered on the pillow beside mine. But the worst part wasn't the silence. It was knowing that, through all our years together, he had seen me as his future, and I had made him feel like an afterthought. Months later, I wrote him a letter. I poured every truth, every apology, every bit of remorse into it. Everything I'd never had the courage to say out loud. I didn't send it. I didn't know where to. I kept it in a box, alongside photos of us, old ticket stubs, and the notes he used to leave for me. Sometimes I open that box just to remind myself of what I had and what I lost. Not to punish myself, but so I'll never forget how fragile love is when we take it for granted. I don't know if he'll ever forgive me. I don't even know if he thinks of me at all. But I think of him. Every single day. And if fate ever brings him back to me, if I ever get that rare, impossible second chance, I won't try to be clever. I won't try to make light of something sacred. I'll just say what I should have said the first time. You were never my second choice. You were the best thing that ever happened to me.